Unlimited and Hoinky Classic going at it. This is Mike Taylor leading off. Taylor, 27 years old, and he bowls pretty much for a living.
Oh, and you can throw it that good, Jay. That's why you bowl for a living.
That's right. What a nice start.
We talked about in the Open, Jay, and you brought it up about how difficult the lane condition has been all throughout the qualifying and, of course, the match play. And it's been kind of interesting about how the players have adjusted. And we'll get into that after we introduce all the players in this for opening game.
Trip Roberts for Trophies Unlimited, age 16. And he opens with a strike. The youngest bowler we've ever had on the Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge.
And I got to believe his heart was pumping a little bit in that first shot probably ever for him on television.
And Contour Grips presents our team lineup. And that was Anthony Chapman. Chapman's 23, a student at the University of Maryland at College Park. His major computer science. His teammates call him Tony, but I said, what would you like me to call you? He said, well, call me Anthony.
Well, he's a very talented player, too, and we'll show you a little bit of his style as this match progresses. A lot of international success, Jay, of course, in the FIQ tournament and things like that.
This is Scott Jackson. Scott's 23. He's a maintenance man at an apartment complex in Richmond, Virginia. And he's got his hands full. Contour Power Grips presenting the Trophies Unlimited lineup. The two Roberts brothers. You'll see Trip and Kip. They look like identical twins.
You never know there was 8 years difference in their ages, but there
right.
is. And Kip looks like he's about 16, and they're both look so young. Well, everybody looks young to you and me, Jay.
That's the truth.
Well, there we go. The first major mistake of the match early on. Scott Jackson, one of two lefties on that team, and left a really tough. This is the washout. He's trying to get the head pin to go into the 4-7 on the left, and he just gets it hooking early, and it's gone. A little bit of that, it's nervousness, and of course we talked about the difficult lane condition, but it's a very fair and demanding condition, so the bowlers all like it. They appreciate this type of shot.
John Murph got them all down with a Brooklyn hit. This is John Beasley. John works in a pro shop in Hopewell, Virginia, 26 years old.
Well, they need to get it going because that last spare shot cost them a lot of pins and count. They've already gone through the cycle. They went 15-20 in the second frame.
A little high with that one.
Leaves only the 3-6-10, and as we talked about spare shooting being difficult, this is one of the more difficult spares on the lane. The ball wants to either hook early and go left or slide by the 3-pin. Let's see how he covers it. He'll go cross lane at this and try to go fairly straight. Try to get the ball between the 3 and the 6.
Nicely done.
One thing you can learn if you watch and you pay attention today, folks, you'll learn how good spare shooters cover spares. And you'll see some very good spare shooters on all three of these teams because that's how they got here. We keep talking about filling frames and how important it is. It was never more important than it is this week, Jay.
Here's Wes Pye. Pye gets them all.
We're going to take a look at Wes's approach here. Now, this is a little guy, but watch how much power and ball speed he can generate by using leg strength. Here from the side, you see the good, solid approach. The backswing isn't extremely high, but watch what he does with his legs as we get to the foul line. Lifts up real hard right there. You can see how he stays down on that knee. That's what gives him that direction and the power. And the old man got up and got one for us, Wayne Sheridan.
He sure did. He's the leader of the pack. Pro shop owner from down in Virginia. Look at it again.
There's another look at it, and you'll see he has a unique style also. I'd like to show him again when we get a chance and tell you a little bit about Wayne Sheridan's game. Now we got some problems here. This is the 2-4 and the 10.
And this is John Gaines. John, who works in a pro shop.
He's got a very good game, this guy. He went over to get his spare ball off the other ball return. He can only get about 9 balls in that ball return. They start jumping off and falling on people's toes. He's going to hit the 2-pin on the left, slide it into the 10. That's the idea. Almost. Good try.
And there is Kip Roberts, the older of the Roberts brothers. As you mentioned, there's 8 years difference between his brother Trip and himself.
Does he look 24 to you, Jay?
No, he doesn't. He works in a pro shop in the Virginia area. And a 6'10" standing for him. Trophies unlimited, 7-2 in match play. Qualifying average of 191.8, a Baker average of 197.7. This team from Richmond, Virginia, the capital of the Old Dominion. At the moment, Hoinke Classic is up by 3, and we'll return with more right after these messages.
This week on Prime.
All right. Here in the Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge, we're happy to be near Carlisle and Gettysburg here in the Susquehanna Valley.
Very historic.
Great part of the country.
Really historic.
This fella has been on TV a lot, as you saw the visual. Mike Taylor. Taylor finished on the team that was second in Atlanta and third in Pittsburgh during the 92-93 Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge. A little trouble there at the line.
And Mike had a little problem getting dressed this morning. You see his shoes are 2 different color down there. We'll take another look at that shot here. This really, what happens is you can see he slides more than he expected to, tries to put on the brakes to keep from fouling, and that's caused him to get off balance. But the ball's already off his hand, and fortunately for him, he did cover the spare.
Trip Roberts fires it. And all right, it worked out for him.
We're going to take a look at Tripp's style. This is a 16-year-old young man. Uses the full approach. Take a look at the arm swing now. The good, straight, full swing right here. No bend in that arm. Right to the top, all the way through. Stays down at the line and lifts very hard.
And
switch right over to the big guy, Anthony
Chapman comes right back.
One thing about Anthony Chapman, if you're talking, you don't want to blink, because Anthony gets up there and gets the job done. He doesn't waste any time.
Scott Jackson, he had a problem his first time around. Let's see if the left-hander can handle this. He does. Comes right back with a strike. That away.
We've got a good match going here. Now that everybody's got through that first cycle, the first 5 frames, they've all had a chance to bowl in front of the television cameras and this live audience here that's very enthusiastic, by the way. Now that they got a little more relaxed, we'll see what they can do.
Murph, who was a member of the 93 Wichita State University National Collegiate Team Champions.
Just the baby split here, Jay. The 3 and the 10. And, of course, the idea here is to go cross lane, try to fit the ball between the 2 pins, and the ball should take out both. You want to hit the 3-pin on the right side, the ball will deflect into the 10. But today's modern bowling balls, you see guys hooking it right between those 2 pins and not getting either one of them. But I don't think he'll do that. He's gone to a ball that doesn't hook very much. Go cross lane, try to straighten it out a little bit. Didn't bounce enough. This is a guy with a good style, good release right here, Jay. And we'll get our camera people are doing a hell of a job here. So we'll get a good look at his point of release here at the foul line. And you'll see that he gets out of the ball really cleanly and stays down. Very steady head. John's been around a while. He knows how to play the game quite well.
He's been an all-star for the Greater Richmond Bowling Association for a number of years.
That's how you do it.
Strike for John Beasley.
Here's another look at John Beasley from the side, and this is going to be a great angle. You see what I'm talking about with that release. He'll get the ball off his hand on the upswing, which is where you want to get rid of it. Right here he starts to lift, lifts hard, and you can see the ball is actually in the air for about 5 feet, but it's not thrown directly up in the air. He just lifts it with his fingers to that point. That's what creates that good rotation and good direction.
Wes Pye for Hoinke Classic.
West is a little pumped up right now.
And both of these clubs doing very nicely.
Well, the scores are better than we expected, that's for sure.
Yes, they are. Wayne Sheridan won a couple of PBA regional titles. He's had a fine career.
Well, we'll take a look at Wes's style here in a minute. And excuse me, Wayne's style here in a minute. And remember, I bowled with this guy a long time ago, Jay, and he had a lot more hair then, and it wasn't gray. And he threw a full roller. And the difference now, and from there to what he does with the bowling ball, is now he throws what they call a three-quarter roll by rotating his hand around the side of the ball to get it away from the thumb and fingers. But he still has a full roller timing. And by that, I mean he gets to the foul line and releases the ball at the same time his foot gets to the foul line, which is not conducive to rolling the ball with three-quarter roll. So you have to kind of flip the ball to get it to spin outside the thumb and fingers.
Trophies Unlimited up by 38. John Gaines has
really
it on the way.
Talented player here, this John Gaines. A tremendous talent. Just a young guy, but he can really play the game. Big and strong. Can create a lot of ball speed, and well, he can do it. He just can handle it. He's a good match play bowler, as evidenced by he's done well in the high roller tournaments.
He has 21 300 games and 4 800 series to his credit. Uh-oh, there's a mistake.
That's a major mistake,
oh
and that's the kind of thing you just can't do in this. When we talk about filling frames, this is the Baker system. We're bowling 2 games, total pins to decide the match. The winner goes on, of course, to meet team champion.
Kip Roberts ready to go. 7 300 games. An 831 high series for him.
Oh my.
There they are, the goalposts, the 7-10.
The goalpost, that's right. Just exactly what you didn't want to do in that situation. The other team's anchor man gives you a break, pops the big open, which John Gaines did. Kip comes right back and gives it back to him. That's just not what you want to do at this point, of course, but we've got another game to go, and anything can happen in the Baker system.
At the moment, Trophies Unlimited up by 36. And let's show you some of the other teams here this week. Finishing 9th, team from right here in Mechanicsburg, representing AB West Lanes, the Bauer family. And from Oswego, New York, an 8th place finish. Winner's Circle Pro Shop out of Lowell, Mass, finishing 7th. And from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and a group from Wycliffe, Ohio, Terry's Pro Shop, finishing 5th. We'll return with more from ABC West Lanes right after these messages. Some of the high games, we had 71 teams competing here from 12 states. Prize fund of over $22,000 plus the sweepers, Earl.
And there was a lot of money in those sweepers, Jay. It's amazing.
And high series, young man from Palmerton, Pennsylvania, leading the way. Trip Roberts leading it off, and a strike for the youngster. Oh, he's bowled very, very well.
He has. He's handled himself well. Both the brothers have done well. The only blemish you might say is that 7-10 that his brother left in the 10th frame of that opening game, but they have a substantial lead as to whether or not they can fill frames and hold on.
Mike Taylor. Mike was second in the high rollers event in '91, picked up a big check at that time. That one just wouldn't come back.
Well, we almost saw our first 0 for a long time.
That's
there.
right.
And
on
we'll
the
take
fringe.
another look at it. Watch this, Jay. Look how close this ball gets to the edge. And it just got away from him. Got it out in that no man's land out by the edge of the lane in the oil there. And another maybe half an inch and it was gone. And he left himself a difficult spare. 1, 2, 4, 8. Idea is to cross it if he can, like that.
That's the way to get it done. He's trying to pump up his team, and now it'll be Scott Jackson for Trophies Unlimited.
You know, the team that finishes second of the second and third place team has the option of picking the starting lane, which really comes out to meaning that they have the option of picking the finishing lane. And so what happened here is the fact that it's kind of unique that that they would pick it, not pick it on based on lane conditions so much on who's going to finish first or who's going to finish second. And you look at this right now and you see this team right here, this Hoinke team, finished second, finishing on the right-hand lane, which means Trophies Unlimited decided, Hoinke Classic decided they want to finish this match second, which means that the pressure would be on their anchor man in the 10th frame for Total Pins, and Total Pins decides the match. So they must feel they have a lot of confidence in their anchor man, or maybe they felt that the right-hand lane was a little better for them. But I have to believe they feel that it was because their anchor man is very good.
The big guy, Anthony Chapman. Let's take a look at him, Earl.
Let's take a look at the style. For a big man, watch how smooth and graceful he is. That fluid arm swing. He's very strong physically. You can see he gets the ball way up high, but watch his balance at the foul line. Stays right there over the knee. Good follow through. And that's why he's been successful under pressure. If you've got a good, strong game, you can get that thing done time after time the same way. You can handle pressure.
And a tough break for John Murph. Murph, a member of the 90. Excuse me. That is John Beasley.
That's close enough, Jay.
Well, the Budweiser
that'll do it. I want to go through
award.
This
I want to mention that $25,000 Bud Light Perfect Game Challenge Award just went by the boards. Here's Beasley picking it up.
Went by early, too, didn't it?
Yeah.
But let me give everybody an idea what the format's all about right here. And the format here, we had 71 teams, as you mentioned, Jay. They bowled 6 regular team games on Saturday afternoon and evening. The field was cut based on total pins to the top 10. The top 10 went into match play here Sunday morning, and they bowled 9 two-game Baker matches.
Now here is John Murph, and a tough break there as he leaves the 7. Illustrate how widespread this event has become. Teams were entered from as far away as Florida and New Hampshire in this event here this week. Picks up the spare, and we'll return with more of the Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, right after these messages. BC West Lanes, Mr. Sheridan.
Good old Wayne.
Come on, Wayne, come on.
And come on, and he got them all.
We're going to take a look at Wayne's game here. For an old lefty, he still can handle that ball pretty well. But watch, here's what I'm talking about. You watch the arm swing. A full roller gets the ball off his hand while he's still sliding. Watch this. The ball leaves his hand, he's still sliding. What that means is that if you throw a 3/4 roll, you plant your foot, pull the ball through. That gives you time to get around the side of it and turn it. So Wayne's throwing a 3/4 roll with a full roller timing. That's hard to do.
Get there.
Wes Pye comes through.
Both teams getting pumped up now. This is it. They're down to the last few frames. Total pins for the 2 games. Another look at Wes's shot. He's playing way outside, out between the first and second arrow, and just got the 10 out, and you can see his reaction. He's trying to get his team pumped up in these last few frames.
Yeah, you see Wes Pye with one of the high averages here this week. Bruce Holland of Baltimore up on top. Roberts a little high, but he got him.
Well, he got the Jersey squasher.
Yes,
Jay
sir.
carried it, crossed it over, and got them all to go. Last pin down was a 6 pin. Just as good as if the left-hander had thrown it, right? Watch this. Watch the 6 pin. Last one to go. All right, now here's a man with big style, big game. They need him to help them right now.
And he scrambled those down.
Hit him thin and watch him spin. He got that head pin going to the wall, kicked out that bucket. Got that good pin action.
And we're back to the youngster as the lead is 47 for Trophies Unlimited. Trip Roberts, who for age 16 has handled himself very well. You mentioned he uses all of the approach, Earl.
Well, not only that, but his number is 1-6 in this thing, and that's his age, Jay.
Yes, sir. And he is bowling with a brilliance far superior to his age.
There's another look at it. You see how he twists the ball very hard, and he has what I call negative roll. The ball is actually rotating away from the pocket and still not, that keeps it from flipping hard when the lanes are hooking. And the back end of the lane here is dry and wants to hook. his
they
right-hand
are
lane.
really rolling now. The strike coming there from Mike Taylor. 47-pin lead for Trophies Unlimited. Back in a moment. With Earl Anthony, Jay Randolph, the team champions. Belcamp, Maryland, right outside of Baltimore. Qualifying 195.9, Baker 194.2. The numbers on the Hoinky Classic crew from Cincinnati and Trophies Unlimited from Richmond, Virginia. Our top three teams in this stop. And the match play records. Team champions at 7-2, Hoinky 6-3. Trophies Unlimited also at 7-2.
Kind of unusual for the teams to, two of those three teams had higher Baker averages than they did qualifying average. That's kind of unique because generally the Baker system is a little harder to score.
Scott Jackson for Trophies Unlimited. He finished 5th in a PBA regional this year. Oh, another problem for him.
Yeah, this is a real problem here. A very difficult spare. The 2-4, 6-10. And what he's going to try to do here is get the ball on the left side of the 2-pin. The ball will take out the 4. The 2-pin should go over and take out the 6-10. This is a real tough spare here. Let's see if he can slide off, get this thing to slide in there and kick out that 2-pin into the right side. Now, remember last time when he was in this situation, he had 5 on his first ball and got 5 out. Made a good try.
He sure did. Almost converted for the spare there.
Now don't blink because Anthony's getting up there, and if you blink, he's going to be gone. Here he goes. Got the hand on the ball. He's set to go. Sets the ball right by his hip. Gets that elbow in tight. That great arm swing. Good follow through. Got the job done. Solid 7.
Whoa.
My.
He earned 4 gold medals in the '93 FIQ American Zone Tournament.
Here's another look at that shot, Jay. He's playing right between the second and third arrow. You see that great finish on the back end. Heavy roll. Just jammed the pins into the sideboard. Didn't have a chance to get to the 7. And his reaction, he can't believe it. Neither can his team. They're looking at it on the bench. They don't believe it. Here, hang on, ball. Only 23 years old. This man's got a real future in this game if he decides to stay with it. But he's also got a brilliant mind, Jay. So he's going to go on and do some other things possibly.
Likes that computer courses that he's taking at the University of Maryland. John Beasley.
Another fine game. Well, most of these guys, these amateur players, some of them have played a little bit on the Pro Tour. Some of them are just members to bowl in regional events. But most of our players are amateurs. And they can bowl with just about anybody on a given day.
Oh, boy.
Well, both teams getting some bad breaks now. There, this 9-pin on the wall shot, which generally would be a strike. Got great pin action. Head pin went to the wall, come back, kicked out the bucket, and just stopped right next to the 8-pin and didn't fall down. I called it the 9. It's the 8. Excuse me.
The Brunswick Memorial World Open going on in Chicago this week. The event drew a limited field here, but among those who were here, Bob Hanley, Guppy Troop, and Bruce Cullen. John Murph. John's back in school now after some time at Wichita State. He's at Sinclair Community College in Dayton, Ohio. Shaking his head. Great hospitality here this week at the ABC West Lanes. Bauer family does a great job here. He picks it up. Wayne Sheridan. 31 pins for Trophies Unlimited at this point.
They're hanging in there with a couple of frames to go. It just really, if they can fill frames, they're going to be a winner, and they will have beat a very talented team and very experienced team. So let's see. That's the kind of thing they can't afford right there. I just mentioned fill the frames, and this is the 4-7-10. Wayne's always been a good spare shooter, and what he's going to try to do here is get the ball way out to the left side, try to get just enough of that 4-pin to slide it into the 10. Of course, the ball would take out the 7. Pin count could be important right here, so I don't know if he thought about that, but he might want to just get 2. See what Wayne can do with this. It's a good looking shot. No, got one of them. Match is tightening up with just 2 frames to play, and this is what Hoinke might have determined what might happen. It might get this close, might come down to the 10th frame. Maybe their anchor man can do the job for him.
Wes Pye, 34 years old, vice president of sales for Hammer.
Got to hurry. Not a bad break there. That could have been just about anything from a washout to maybe a 5 count with a 6-10 standing. Left only the 1-2-4. Not that difficult to spare for someone of the ability of Wes Pye. And what he wants to do is make sure he gets a mark here and give his anchor man, John Gaines, a chance in the 10th frame to pull this match out. And that's a big mistake there. It's just amazing to me that someone like Wes wouldn't get that ball on the left side of the head pin. He's trying hard. It just didn't get over there.
Well, now it's Kip Roberts.
And that really changes the complexion of the match for Kip Roberts. He gets up in the 10th frame now needing a mark to win, whereas before he might have been in the position where he might have needed a double to save this match. Solid 7.
And that 7-pin would not go down.
Well, that's what happens when the lanes are dry in the back end. And this is, like I mentioned before, and we talked about it a little bit, Jay, it's a demanding lane condition. It requires good shot making, consistent roll, consistent ball speed, and consistently getting the ball through the first part of the lane in the same trajectory. And that's what the bowlers are doing. They're hitting the pocket, but because it's dry in the back end, the ball hits so hard, they leave things like the solid 7 and maybe an 8-pin or a 9-pin. He did what he had to do. He got the ball in play, got the mark, and that was the key shot for his team.
The group from Belcamp, Maryland, outside of Baltimore, team champions, waiting to play for the championship. Al of Brooklyn.
Well, that did the job.
Strike. That was it.
That's what makes this format so exciting. That's one of many things that make this format so exciting. The Baker system, there's another one, another solid 7.
And Gaines is saying, what's going on? Gaines talking to one of our cameramen.
Cameraman says, hey, I didn't throw it, man. It was yours.
Gaines asking our cameraman why the 7 won't go down.
Well, that's 2 out of the last 3 shots they did that, of course, and Anthony Chapman doing it 2 frames earlier. But it doesn't matter at this point. The match is over, and what I was going to mention, that what makes this format, one of the things that makes it so exciting is that anybody at any given time can jump up and win one of these matches and maybe go on to win the event totally and then go to Reno, and who knows, maybe become the World Team Challenge champions, the Brunswick World Team Challenge champions, which that's a pretty good title to carry around for a year, Jay.
The victory for Trophies Unlimited. They win it by 30 pins and will move on to the championship. Nice job by